At 9:02 in the morning on April 19th, 1995, an explosion tore through downtown Oklahoma City, shearing the north face off the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building. The blast wave shattered glass for miles, reduced 9 stories of reinforced concrete to rubble, and claimed 168 lives. Amidst the immediate devastation, a massive criminal investigation began. Investigators were faced with a crime scene covering 16 city blocks, containing tons of tangled debris and 0 obvious suspects. Within hours, Federal Bureau of Investigation evidence response teams descended on the site, establishing strict perimeters to preserve physical clues. Forensic experts initiated a meticulous grid search, working through toxic dust and unstable structural remains to locate the blast's epicenter. Every fragment of metal, glass, and concrete had to be logged, photographed, and categorized. The primary objective was clear: determine the exact mechanism of the detonation and identify the vessel that delivered it. On the second day of searching, investigators sweeping an alleyway several hundred feet from the epicenter made a pivotal discovery. Resting against a damaged building was a mangled, heavily charred piece of steel that had been blown clear of the main collapse. It was a rear axle component from a heavy truck, deeply embedded with blast origin force. How could a crushed, anonymous piece of auto machinery unlock the identity of a killer? Forensic examiners scrubbed layers of soot and road grime from the axle housing, carefully exposing the bare metal. Embedded within the steel was a partial vehicle identification number. A vehicle identification number acts as a unique biological fingerprint for automobiles, carrying specific factory codes that trace a machine back to its exact assembly line. The recovery of these 17 characters transformed a chaotic search through rubble into a direct, targeted forensic investigation. Agents immediately ran the recovered vehicle identification number through national automotive databases, matching the part to a 1993 Ford F-350 box truck. Production records confirmed the vehicle belonged to a Ryder truck rental fleet operating out of Kansas. According to federal court filings, investigators contacted the rental agency in Junction City, Kansas, where employees recalled renting the vehicle 2 days before the explosion to a man using a driver's license under the alias Robert Kling. Special agents and forensic artists worked alongside the counter staff at the rental shop to build a detailed composite sketch of the suspect. The description yielded a sharp profile, a tall, slender man in his mid-20s with a short haircut and an intense demeanor. Copies of the sketch were dispatched across law enforcement networks nationwide. The crucial question remained: had the man using the name Robert Kling escaped into the shadows, or was he already within reach of authority? The answer lay in an unexpected turn of events on Interstate 35, roughly 80 miles north of Oklahoma City. Just 78 minutes after the bomb detonated, Oklahoma State Trooper Charlie Hanger pulled over a yellow 1977 Mercury Marquis for driving without a rear license plate. During the routine traffic stop, the trooper discovered a concealed, loaded firearm on the driver, leading to an immediate arrest. The driver identified himself as Timothy McVeigh.
McVeigh was processed and held in the Noble County Jail on local weapons charges, completely unaware that federal agents were closing in on his identity. As investigators linked the Ryder truck rental agreement to a local motel where McVeigh had stayed under his real name, the connection crystallized. Just hours before McVeigh was scheduled to be released on bail, federal agents confirmed his resemblance to the composite sketch and placed him under federal arrest. With the suspect in custody, the focus returned to the forensic laboratory to build an airtight evidentiary chain. Scientific analysts examined the clothing McVeigh wore at the time of his arrest, along with earplugs found in his pockets. Utilizing advanced gas chromatography and mass spectrometry, chemists identified microscopic residue of ammonium nitrate and nitromethane, the exact chemical components used to construct the primary explosive compound inside the rented box truck. Maintaining an unbroken chain of custody was vital to ensure the evidence remained admissible in court. Every sample of residue, every piece of scorched metal, and every hotel ledger was logged with precise timestamps and custodian signatures. Forensic investigators knew that in a capital case, any procedural gap could allow defense attorneys to question the integrity of the physical evidence, threatening the pursuit of legal justice. The forensic trail soon widened beyond a single perpetrator.
Analysis of telephone toll records, credit card transactions, and agricultural fertilizer purchases pointed toward an accomplice named Terry Nichols. Search warrants executed at Nichols's property uncovered blasting caps, detonator cord, and ammonium nitrate bags that matched the chemical signature of the materials used in the attack. The physical evidence conclusively demonstrated a coordinated, long-term conspiracy. Due to massive pre-trial publicity and deep public trauma in Oklahoma, federal judges ordered a change of venue, transferring the prosecution to the United States District Court in Denver, Colorado. Prosecutors prepared a narrative grounded not in emotion, but in cold, verifiable scientific facts. The core of their strategy relied on demonstrating how independent streams of forensic data, from metallurgy to trace chemistry, converged seamlessly on the accused. During the trial, defense counsel sought to challenge the forensic methodology, raising questions about potential laboratory contamination and the handling of the blast site. In response, federal prosecutors called a procession of expert witnesses, including metallurgists, chemists, and field agents. These witnesses systematically detailed how the physical trajectory of the broken axle proved it originated from the exact center of the explosive displacement inside the Murrah Building. Inside the Denver courtroom, physical evidence took center stage. Jurors were shown the restored truck parts alongside complex chemical spectrum charts that mapped the explosive residues. The defense argued that circumstantial connections were insufficient to prove intent, but the prosecution countered with the physical reality of the evidence. Key fragments, rental contracts bearing McVeigh's handwriting, and chemical signatures that could not be explained by mere coincidence. As the proceedings progressed, the trial demonstrated the essential role of forensic science within the American legal system. The court was not merely evaluating witness testimony, which can fade or alter over time. It was assessing physical facts recorded in steel and chemical compound structures. The scientific evidence served as an unyielding witness, connecting individual actions directly to catastrophic structural consequences. In June 1997, the jury returned a verdict of guilty on all 11 federal counts against Timothy McVeigh, leading to a sentence of death. Terry Nichols was subsequently convicted of federal conspiracy and involuntary manslaughter charges, receiving a life sentence. The legal outcomes stood as a testament to the rigorous scientific standards applied during the investigation, proving that meticulously gathered physical evidence could withstand intense judicial scrutiny. The forensic story of the Oklahoma City bombing remains a watershed moment in federal law enforcement history. What began as an overwhelming scene of destruction was methodically decoded through systematic laboratory work and traditional investigative diligence. By tracing a single vehicle identification number on a shattered rear axle, investigators proved that no matter how vast the wreckage, physical truth leaves a permanent imprint that science can decipher.